do. ML. I've always loved studying art style challenges. It's how I and other artists learn and improve their art. Today I'll be taking a crack at the 10 art style challenge. Because I'm indecisive, I made a wheel with the main characters for my work in progress webcomic. If you couldn't tell, I'm just a little bit obsessed with them. And I got Eva. A little backstory on Eva before we get into the styles. She's the antagonist of my webcomic. She's loyal, extremely protective of her friends, and just a little bit of a hothead. She's a sergeant of the AGA, the Above Ground Action Division of the government she grew up in and works for, the GOSMB, the Government of Supernatural Beings. Eva is a sport wildcaster. She's basically a witch. She was a very weak wildcaster before getting struck by lightning when her and the main character, Farron, tried to escape from the GOSMB. This event tears her and Farron apart, as Eva tells Farron to go on without her, and she will find them eventually. However, both of them have very different versions that happen, as Eva never came back and just stayed in the GOSMB. She's giving Dictator Caitlyn vibes, not gonna lie. Who said that? I'm an Eva apologist. I will defend her for the rest of my life. The key features I wanted to keep her were her prominent nose shape, lightning scars, and hip dips. I was more lenient with her wildcaster mark, moon branding, and earbuds. I also gave her a chain on her jeans, but I forgot about that until like the very end style. Oops, I did not mean to get rid of that. Anyways, that's all I'll be saying about Eva for now. How I would describe my style? I don't know. I color my liner as well as vary my line weight. My style leans more on a realistic side, ? With a painty-ish textured coloring. More question marks? Not really. I'm working on it. I'm still learning. So after I got Eva, I thought about what art styles would suit her and also styles I wanted to study. First style, Bruhu Ari. Truth time. I have not been following them for that very long. I only discovered their work fairly recently, but their style just makes me so happy. It's so nostalgic and yet like so new. It's interesting. I've seen this type of style all over, and yet simultaneously it's something new, and I just knew I needed to draw Eva in them. She would look so good in it. Plus I wanted to start with a more simpler style to ease into the project, as some styles further in the video were much more complicated. We'll get to that. Bruhu Ari is a digital artist working on the animated project I Want to Eat Your Guts. They're on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. I don't think I successfully replicated Bruhu Ari's style one for one. I still believe it has like the same vibe, but that could also be me being blinded by my own work. You be the judge of that. But yeah, here she is. Winx Club. Oh, Winx Club. I watched this Italian cartoon from 2004 when I was 7 years old. It was originally made by Rainbow Studios before being bought by Nickelodeon. There are obvious anime and magical girl influences with the style and the magical girl-esque transformations. I watched the Rye version, and since I've been obsessed, I was that kid on the playground, convinced I was a fairy and I wanted to be the 7th member of the Winx Club so badly. I do plan on making a redesign and a rewrite for Winx Club in the future, since the whole situation has gone down. I did cheat with Eva's hip dips. Winx Club's body types are non-existent. They have the same carbon copy, skinny waist, big hips, thin legs. I also wasn't about to throw her in a crop top. She is too clean cut for that. Because there are witches in the Winx Club universe. Eva would be a witch at Cloud Tower. I thought about making her a fairy, but come on, she's a witch. What? That would be wrong. This was fulfilling for my childhood for many different reasons. I love Winx Club. Here she is. Again, the reason I picked this style was because I believed Eva would eat in this style. And she did. And yeah, it does feel like a sin doing this digitally because Bite Size Sponge is known for her traditional art videos and tutorials. I found her through her chunky sketchbook tutorials. Her art style is just, it's just so pretty. And she does do digital art, but I wanted to try and emulate her watercolor style. I kind of failed, but Eva still ended up being very cute, and I can see why Bite Size Sponge can just fill her sketchbooks. I love the way she draws eyebrows as individual lines. I did struggle with not coloring the line art because I'm very accustomed to that, but the second I saw some colored line art and some other digital artwork, I changed it so fast. For a character who I draw on a pretty regular basis, I forgot so many details, such as like her scars, which is something I wanted to keep in as many styles as I possibly could. And nothing against these styles, that is completely on me. I am a very forgetful person, and especially when coming to art. I don't know. Anyways, here she is. Next up, Lena Doodles. I found this artist through Pinterest, and I was just in awe. The way she draws clothing and her use of color and line variation, I want to take a bite. I have studied this style for years. She's on Instagram and TikTok. She's also working on a webcomic, Gwenda the World. I'm very excited. On top of drawing beautiful characters, the backgrounds, mwah, chef's kiss. Her art is spectacularly soft, and I enjoyed taking this on. Drawing the style was fun, and it's one of the ones I'm actually proud of, and I think it turned out all right. Definitely one of my favorites from this video. I think I executed the style really well. She just looked like a little doll. Look at her. Next, Shira and the Princess of Power. It's a TV show by DreamWorks with 5 seasons on Netflix. I watched it in 2021, a crazy time, and I love it. I need to rewatch it sometime. The reason why I wanted to do this style was because I slowly realized that Eva and Farron were just Adora and Catra in different fonts. And I was like,
no.
Eva is a blonde with a push-up bit of her hair with red as a main color and has mentor issues. Oops. I need to work on that. But did she end up looking like Adora? Thankfully, no. And I think I succeeded in this style. A little bit. Kinda. I don't know. Here she is. Next on the list, Potato But Not, aka Jay. How I found them was through their P Crew again in 2021, and I have been following them over on Instagram ever since. Their style is deliciously cartoony yet so realistic at the same time. They've influenced my style in many ways. I've done several studies of the shape language that they do and the way that they draw faces. They're also apparently working on a project called New Earth, and I'm very excited to see where that goes. I don't think I entirely succeeded in this style. The face is pretty good. I think I did that well. Everything else, it's okay. I love studying styles, and I will continue to study this style in particular after this video goes up. The black line art does not exactly fit. I'm not a fan of it in my own work. I like coloring my line art. Jay does it well. Jay does it well. I do not. Anyways, here she is. Next up, Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon came out in 1992 and was genre defining. Everyone knows Sailor Moon. I don't know how you couldn't. Sailor Moon was my first anime, and for that I will always cherish it. And I never finished it. I watched Sailor Moon Crystal. I know. I did watch the original first season though. I did struggle with this style more than I thought I would. I originally had a full body sketched out, but it just did not look right. Honestly, thought about scrapping this and choosing just a different style, but I pushed forward and instead bust off. Why I pushed forward was because of 2 reasons. 1, of the sentimental value, like I said, and 2, there's lore with Eva and Sailor Moon. Yes, in this universe there is Sailor Moon. I would not deprive my children of it. Her and my other OC, Cal, would crowd around a box TV as kids in the lab and watch Sailor Moon on VHS. I almost gave her pointy eyes like she has, but it just didn't look right. It didn't look like Sailor Moon, even though I was referencing the style. She got the big classic Sailor Moon eyes instead. Other than that, Rocky Star, I like how it turns out. Here she is. Another art style I chose because I thought Eva would suit it, the starfish face, aka Star. Star's videos were actually inspired me to start this channel up again. They've written a book called How to Webcomic. I really need to buy it at some point as I'm slowly approaching actually making my webcomic, and I have no experience making a comic. Star's style is very cartoony and I wanted to attempt it. Bright colors, sharp varying line art, big beautiful eyes. I needed to try it. Did I succeed? Honestly, I don't know. I again think the face turned out well. Everything else, honestly, I need to work on shading in my own work to make it less flat. I didn't get to do one of my favorite traits in Star's art, which is the hair overlapping with eyes and eyebrow. I love the way they do it, but I didn't get a chance to do it with Eva. Speaking of hair, this challenge has shown me just how I don't know how long Eva's hair is. The length kept changing, and I really need to sit down and decide how long it'll actually be. Again, forgot some parts and had to go back. The ADHD was at an all-time high. Anyways, here she is. Right off the bat, I need to apologize. I did trace down his face. This was the second to last style and I was getting tired. I had tried 2 separate times to do this face and it was not looking right, and for that I'm sorry. Nana came out in 2006 and I'll be honest, I've only watched the first few episodes. I'm not mentally strong enough to watch this yet. I came in knowing it was doomed, but
I'm sorry I couldn't keep my promise. You probably don't remember, but I was really serious about building that gorgeous house with a big yard.
But just know, I will watch it eventually. It is not suitable for younger audiences, I will say. Be good. Thank you. I was not feeling this drawing until the coloring. That's when it clicked. The one thing I changed, I was not about to give Eva a tiny anime nose. That was not happening. Here she is. Oh, and finally, Arcane. That's on purpose. I knew this style would take time, so I saved it for last. And surprisingly, it took just as long as all the other styles, according to Iris Paint. Arcane Season 1 came out in 2021, and then Season 2 came out in 2024. This show has influenced me twice now. First time in 2021, I moved away from the anime line eyebrows and started doing more fun brow shapes as well as pushing emotions. And then in 2024, I saw the painting as rendering and the fun eye shading, and I yoinked it. A fun fact, I watched it first in 2021 by myself, and then I watched it again with my dad the summer before Season 2 came out. I had to wait 3 years. He had to wait 3 months. I am salty. I love how the face turned out. I kind of BS'd on the clothing and hair, but in the end, this ended up being one of my favorites. I referenced Caitlyn mostly, but I did reference a bit of Jinx as well, mostly around the eyes and the eye shading. I even had to reference Vi because I wanted to render Eva's ear piercings after doing so many styles where I had to drop them because they would not fit. Anyways, here she is. And that's it for this video. I know I said that this channel was going to be more of a hobby, but I did want to post more than like once a month, and I'm sorry. The top 3 styles I believe I successfully replicated are the Winx Club style, Luna Doodle style, and finally the Arcane style. Thank you for watching. Bye!